Hello and welcome to PV Sindhu's birthday special on Sports Today. You know, the moment I sort of wished her, and my first thought was, let's celebrate PV Sindhu today on the channel and on the platform, and of course play out a special interview that I've shot with PV Sindhu, looking ahead at Tokyo. Fantastic conversation it was. You will love it. I mean, any of you who follow the Indian team to Tokyo, anyone who follows Sindhu, anyone who follows badminton, it's one of the most open, candid, heartfelt conversations that you can possibly listen to. On behalf of everyone watching, listening, myself, my team at Sports Today and India Today, wishing PV Sindhu a very happy birthday, and may we get another opportunity to celebrate you exactly a month from now, because there is every reason to believe you will give us greater joy in the next month and a week maybe. I'll tell you a couple of my favorite PV Sindhu stories before I toss to the interview, and it's a full 30-minute interview which Trisha and Ashish will play for you. Subscribe to the platform because you will get a lot of exclusive content. I'll get Deepika Kumari for you along with Atanu Das. And also, I promise you an exclusive with Saurav Ganguly on the Olympics, because Saurav and I keep discussing the Olympics every day. And he keeps asking me how many medals, what do you think, what are the sports where India can make. So it is important to get Saurav to sort of wish the team and get Saurav on the platform on the Olympics, what it means, as an athlete, how to deal with pressure. He can actually talk about that, how to deal with pressure, what should be, when you are at the biggest stage of all, and it will be excellent to have Saurav on the platform. And I promise you that at some point in time this week or early next. So plenty of exclusive content will keep coming your way. Subscribe to the platform. Two of my favorite PV Sindhu stories. Fascinating one, and this one goes back to 2015-16. Now, 2015, Sindhu was playing in Australia, and she lost in the first round, and she has family there. So Gopi called her and said, "You can go and party." And Sindhu tells me, I didn't understand what he was trying to tell me. He said, "Go and party." So I partied for about 3 days, and she was coming back. On the flight back, all of a sudden, Gopi told her, "Come to the academy next morning at 4 o'clock. So Sindhu and Ramna, Sindhu's father, who's also a 5-time national champion in volleyball. So Sindhu and Ramna landed up at the academy, and Gopi is sitting there with this piece of paper. Now Sindhu goes there, and the piece of paper is written, "No mobile phone, no biryani for the next 8 months, etc., etc." So Sindhu tells me, I thought it was a joke. How can anybody sort of say this without utmost seriousness? Take my mobile phone away, no cheat days, no cheat meal, no relaxation, no WhatsApp, nothing. So she said yes, yes. And moment she said yes, Gopi actually took everything away, the phone and all, and said, "Give it to me." And trust me, next 8 months she did not ask for it. That's Sindhu. The kind of resilience this girl has, the kind of commitment and passion this girl has, stands out, and that's what we celebrate. And I remember that particular, meal at the Olympic Village where we broke this, and she had her ice cream. McDonald's is the only brand that is there at the Olympics Village. So we had McFlurry ice cream and chicken nuggets, and she feasted on them because she'd won the Olympic medal. The second story is a very funny one. Wang Yihan, one of the greatest Chinese badminton players, London Nubina, somebody Sindhu beat in Rio in the quarterfinals. She started out with Michelle Lee and then beat Tai Tzu Ying. And that Tai Tzu Ying game was a very critical one. She beat Tai Tzu. And then in the quarterfinals, she took out Wang Yihan. In the semifinals, Nozomi Okuhara, and then obviously Carolina Marin. So Wang Yihan, one of the greats from Chinese badminton, after Sindhu had won her medal, Wang Yihan and Sindhu spent their entire night in Sindhu's room, and they were playing hide and seek. Neither Wang Yihan understands English nor Sindhu understands Chinese. Yet the two, they had used towels to make badminton court in Sindhu's room, and both of them kept sort of chatting with each other and playing with each other and enjoying all night. That's what sporting camaraderie, and by the way, India-China, that's sporting camaraderie between two great champions is all about. Absolutely fantastic. That's what the Olympic stage does. It is much more than winning and losing. It is much more than records broken and medals won. It is also about ritual, about storytelling, about creation of champions and cults. And that is what PV Sindhu turned herself into, an Indian cult. There were future generations of girls who want to be PV Sindhu. Can she do it again? I think she can. She tells me her coach Park is training her big time. I mean, she's very happy with it. She's training at the Gachibowli Stadium. In every sense, she's physically and mentally right up there. No reason, and no Carolina means Akane Yamaguchi. Of course, Nozomi Okuhara, the two Japanese on home soil. Ratthachok Inthanol. Plenty of very good players, but definitely Sindhu has a major chance in Japan. Anybody who knows PV Sindhu will know that come the biggest stage of all, she's one of those athletes who will give her absolute best. So this show is a special for PV Sindhu, celebrating and looking ahead, both, because I hope she gives us another medal at Tokyo 2020 to celebrate her. Let me take questions and then I'll toss to the interview. Good evening. Yes, good evening. Happy birthday, Sindhu. Happy birthday. PV Sindhu is a legend. I'm worse. Very good. Doesn't matter. Boriada, a Sindhu competitor to nahi but medal Sindhu. You know, competitors are there. Competitors are there. Whether it's Akane Yamaguchi, whether it is Tai Zuing, whether it is Nozomi Okuhara, whether it's plenty of Ratthachok Inthanon. There are plenty of competitors and very good ones. So there's no question that the field is very difficult in badminton, very difficult. And the advantage that Sindhu has is Sindhu has always done well in Japan. She's done well at the Japan Open. So that's how it is. So here's PV Sindhu for you going into Tokyo. Enjoy this conversation. I love talking to her. She's a very dear friend. Wishing her a very happy, healthy and safe birthday and all the best for the Tokyo Games. PV Sindhu on Sports Today for you. Hello and welcome to this very special interview. Is the color changing? That is the only question I have. I mean, it'll finish in 1 minute. No, I'm joking. But the fact is, that is the real question. Is the color going to change? Twice or not? I mean, we don't want to put pressure on her, but we keep putting pressure on her. Someone who gave the whole country so much joy 4 years back, and since then have given the country enormous joy every single time. She's made the final and won many trophies and competitions and world championships. Yet again, Indian badminton's pin-up star, a very dear friend, PV Sindhu, welcome.
Thank you.
Almost there. We are almost there. I mean, we were part of the journey together in Rio. I celebrated you, will celebrate you again. But how is it looking? Are you mentally, physically, everything set?
Yes, I'm mentally and physically fit and looking forward, really excited. Of course, when it got postponed back then, due to this pandemic, it was a bit sad for everybody. But now it's really exciting that we just have almost like 1.5 months. That's it. So really looking forward for it. Yeah, it's going to be different, obviously. Yeah.
It is. I mean, you've had a good record in Japan. You've done very well in Japan in the past. Will the courts help? I mean, give me a sense of two questions. Give me a sense of preparation and give me a sense of conditions there, because your father was telling me you're trying to simulate conditions in Hyderabad as well.
Yes, Japan is a big stadium. Every time we go to Japan Open, so last time I went, so it is the same as that is where we are going to play the Olympics. That is the badminton stadium. So yes, I have to of course make sure that I have those conditions and I'm practicing in that condition. So I'm making sure that I'm playing in Gachibowli Stadium, the bigger stadium, to make sure that I get the feel and I get the flight of the shuttle and even air conditioning, so that I will get used to it and not have a problem when I go there, and it doesn't take much time to get used to it. So that is why I'm training in Gachibowli Stadium since February, so that I get used to it, and it's really good. And of course, Park is there to help me out. So yeah, we discuss and play accordingly, and make sure that I control the shuttle, because it is very important for an athlete to control the flight of the shuttle and also know which way the wind is going and how to control it. Yeah.
Gordon Park, because I was reading quite a few of your comments and interviews that he's been super helpful. How is it going?
Yeah. Well, the preparations are going on really well, and of course, he's. It's not going to be easy, but he's making sure that everything should be perfect, whether it comes to skill wise, technique wise, and also on court and off court. Of course, on off court, I do training at Suchitra Academy with my trainer Shrikant, but on court, he's really making sure that every shot is really good and perfect, and if even though I make mistakes, he makes sure that it is fine. You keep trying it, and one day you will get that stroke or that skill. So that way, I think it's been really helpful, and of course, it's also good that I've got enough time to train, because always it is I go for tournaments, come back, and not much time to train. But I think this is the longest period so far that we've got to train, and it is really good and very helpful.
No, Carolina, does that put more pressure?
Well, even though if she's there or not, that is always, the pressure is always there. But yeah, it is sad, of course, that she won't be playing this time. But I think even though if she's not there, I don't think it will not make a difference, because there are other athletes like Taizu, Yamaguchi, Okuhara, Ratchanov. I think the top 10 players are of same standard. So obviously, when it's Olympics, everybody is going to be in the top form and give their 100%, and you can't expect easy matches or easy wins or easy first rounds. So every match, every point counts. So yeah.
World Championships and Olympics have always brought the better of you. Why? How? I mean, is there something there?
Well, there is nothing like that, but I hope even this time it's going to be the same. But otherwise, I think it's always the same. But yeah, it is good by God's grace. I've been doing well in Olympics, last Olympics, and also the World Championships. Always, whenever it happened. So this time also, I hope Olympics will do the same thing to me.
In Rio, you did not have the phone. You trained in a particular manner. You tried to deflect pressure in a particular manner. Now, obviously, I mean, PV Sindhu going into Rio was a different athlete. I mean, PV
Yes.
Sindhu going into Tokyo is a star, and let's face it, you are a star. So how is it different? And yes, you are 4 years mature, but how are you dealing with this? I mean, the stardom, the expectations, the madness around you. How are you dealing with it?
Well, it's always nice, of course, to have that stardom, to be in the limelight. It is always nice. Obviously, the pressure and responsibilities are going to be a lot more. So back then, as you said, Rio was completely different, where I was like a normal person, normal athlete, where, okay, let's see what's going to happen. But after that, I think completely my life has changed. And right now, yes, as you said, experience, and I've been a bit more matured in game wise as a person, and experience also matters. So I've had experience. So now going into Olympics is completely different, where everybody is going to look at me, and everybody is expecting a lot from me. So that definitely there will be pressure, but also at the same time, when I go into a match, I don't really think about all these things, and just focus on my match and just give my best. Because thinking about what people want, or thinking about I want to win that, for people that doesn't matter. It's just what matters is you just go into a match thinking that yes, I want to do well and I want to give my best. So if you win, it is good for you, and also to everybody. So for me, even though there is pressure, there is responsibility, for me it's just that I have to just be calm, composed, and just one match at a time, and just be focused all the time. That's all matters to me. Yeah.
Pandemic, it's been hard on everybody. I mean, especially in India. How did you cope with it? I mean, yes, you were away for a while training in the United Kingdom, and then you came back. Give me a sense of your last 1 year. I mean, because we've not spoken for close to a year on camera.
Yeah.
So give me a sense of that.
Well, yeah, I mean, when this all happened, I think everybody has come to a standstill and didn't know what to do and what is next. Obviously, it was sad that Olympics got postponed and all the tournaments kept getting cancelled. Almost for like 10 months, we haven't had any tournament. So it was sad, but apart from that, we also have to take care of our safety, and life comes first.
Yeah.
So that is why everybody has been, being careful and making sure that everybody is safe at home. And yeah, for me, it was just that I think that this was the first time I've spent a lot of time with my family members, because every time it was like, going for a tournament, coming back, training again, tournament, coming back. So there was not enough time. But I think now was like the longest time I spent. And obviously we got a new pet now. And So I'm just like spending time relaxing and stuff. So that's how it was. And of course, I was training at home. My trainer used to give me some exercises. But yeah, when sport has started, we started going for training and everything was fine. But still, the tournaments haven't been happening. So I was making sure I was staying positive that, I learn as much as I can, because this was the right time to learn technique and skill. Because generally, as I said, we never had much of time. It was always you rectify your mistakes and go to a tournament, play them, again come back, see what mistakes you're doing, and again change that. But now I think you can learn new stroke and new technique, which is really useful and good for every athlete, is what I feel, because it is really useful for me, and it has really helped me. So yeah, it has happened, and slowly the tournaments have started up, and it was different because we had to be in a bio bubble and we can't go anywhere, and just hotel and play a match and come back to the hotel. So we are definitely getting used to this new normal, because generally it is always we have the spectators and people cheering, fans cheering. But I think this is the time where we need to get used to the new normal, where we have to play without spectators.
Is it tough on you? I mean, the fact that you will have us, because the media, Indian media will be there big time cheering you.
Yes.
I will be there. All of us will be there. But is it going to? I mean, have you become accustomed to playing in front of empty stands?
Yeah, I have, because the last couple of tournaments I've been playing like that. So yeah, it's fine. I'm used to it now, because even in practice, so you will have to play like that only.
Yeah.
So it is fine. I mean, you should get used to it. You can't say I'm not getting used to it, because this is how it's going to be for the next couple of months. So yeah.
Ahead of Rio, you had told me about that particular shot, that backhand block. That was the shot that you perfected, and you played that shot against Lee, of Canada, and then the whole thing changed, and then the rest is history. Anything like that PV Sindhu is practicing this time? I mean, some new weapon in the Asana?
Well, I'm not going to say that, because it's going to be a surprising thing, I must say.
Okay, give me this, that it's happening or not.
Yes, it is happening. Definitely, yes, it is happening, and you will watch that out in Tokyo.
Fantastic.
Yes.
The inevitable question has to be, I will ask. I mean, I don't want to get into and this is not a question, this is not an interview for controversy, but are you missing Gopi? I mean, he's there. I know he's around. He keeps telling me that, you now have Park to look after your game. So there's an individual coach. Just give me a sense of, are you missing him, or is it all perfectly fine given the new arrangement?
Well, it's perfectly fine, because, I've been training with Park since 1.5 years. So he knows my in and outs, my ups and downs, and what I'm playing, what mistakes I'm doing, because he is closely observing my game.
Correct.
So in that way, I would want a coach, obviously, who is observing and closely watching my game and training me every single day. So obviously, I would want him to sit and, coach me. So in that case, obviously not, because, I understand, because every coach, I've been training under so many coaches now, and I've learned some of the other skills, some of the other technique from each coach. And it is good that, you learn new skills and new techniques, and it is good to grab, and you need to grab as much as possible and use them whenever needed. Because every coach has a different style. Every coach has a different thinking. So comparatively, I am very happy that, I've learned different things from different coaches.
Got it.
And I'm happy with that.
Okay. Sindhu, facilities. I mean, this country, oftentimes we have questioned facilities in terms of systems and structures. But again, I mean, the Gachibowli Stadium, Park as a coach, tops athlete, in terms of your personal trainers, are you happy? I mean, can we say that this country has given you enough in terms of whatever is possible to be able to be in the best possible zone?
Definitely, yes, because I'm very thankful to the SAI sports authorities and the Badminton Association, and of course the government, because, when I asked them for the permission, and they were like, fine, right away, they were like, yes, you can go and train. So what else do we need? The right place to practice, and we've had all the opportunities, and why not use them? So I've been getting everything I asked for. So coach, trainer, physio, everything. So I'm really very happy with the support that they've been giving. And also, even when I speak to a sports minister, sir, every time he's asking, okay, do you need anything? You're going to the Olympics, so do you need something? Not only Olympics, but also since the starting, whatever we ask for, it's always been there. So I think I'm really very happy with whatever is going on and whatever they've been providing, whatever we asked for. Yeah, I'm very happy and I'm very thankful to them that they're providing us everything.
Coming back to the two parts, I mean, the physicality and the mental strength, Sindhu. I mean, in your case, what we have seen over the last few years is that is what sort of stands you apart, the physical ability to retrieve shuttles from anywhere. I mean, play longish matches, retain that strength for a 2-hour game, 104 minutes, 105 minutes. Give me a sense of your training regime. When is the last time you had a cheat meal? What is the story of discipline? Because don't give me a formal interview. Take me backstage. I really need. See, I know you inside out to not ask you the standard questions. Those can wait. Give me a sense of the real Sindhu. What's happening?
So yeah, the training wise, everything is going on well. It's basically you need to understand the athlete, what he can do and what he's good at. And you need to improve in such a way where sometimes some people might have physical issues where on court, physical exercises might be different. Couple of people might have endurance based training. So it depends on each athlete. And according to me, yes, physical is very, very important because, as you said, long matches, when they happen, you have to have that ability and capacity to stand there and, give your best and you be on your feet, be focused and be alert all the time. Even though 1 point here and there, you might lose a match. And that can't happen because you're in such a level where you have to be at your best all the time. And for me, yes, my training sessions, as I said, I'm doing at Suchitra. And every day I do training. So it depends. Sometimes I do weight training. Sometimes I do endurance training. And also when it comes to food, of course, yes, there are cheat meals. There's no lying about that. And you know about it. So generally, I eat rice. It's not like I avoid rice or I just eat roti or chapati, nothing like that. I eat rice and I eat veggies. Of course, non-veg is always there. And sometimes, when I play a long tournament somewhere, in different country, I make sure I just have mom's food, vegetarian. That's it. So apart from that, it's nothing like I specially follow some diet because for me, it's normal. It's completely normal where I eat rice, veggies and non-veg. So that's all. And this is the season for mangoes. So how can I miss mangoes? I do eat mangoes and I agree that.
Somebody sent me the Hinayat mangoes from your part of the world. They were unbelievable. Unbelievable. But when was the last time you had ice cream?
When was the last time? I think last week. Yes. Because it was my...
not that bad.
Yeah, because it was my mom's and dad's wedding anniversary. So yes.
Fabulous. Fabulous. And the next time again, post your medal like we did in Rio, we had that blast inside the Olympic Village.
I know, yeah.
So we'll have another party where we celebrate with your medal. We must do that. That's ritual. But last few minutes of the interview, Sindhu, what is different? Sindhu of Rio and Sindhu of Tokyo. What is different? I remember that very nice comment of yours that yes, everything may have changed, but I've not changed as a person.
Yeah.
What is different now?
Well, I think as a person, I mean, back then maybe I was not that mature, I was not that experienced, but I think now as a person, comparatively, I've grown up. And I am able to deal, much more better with anything on court, off court. Because on court, for example, when you tend to lose points, when you get nervous, when you go blank, so that is when you need to deal. You need to make sure that what is next, and you need to also have plan B. So in that way, I've improved. And also off court, as a person, I've definitely, I think personally, I've grown up. So you know what I meant grown up means, because sometimes you still have that things where you want to do this, you want to do that.
It's fine. I don't want to push you. I mean, I've understood because I know you.
No, I mean, when you compare with Rio, that's what I'm saying. When you compare with Rio, maybe that point of time you might think, okay, let me tell you about cheat meals in for a second. So for example, back then in Rio, you might think, chalo yaar, kya hoga? Let's have it. But now, when you actually think, you just think for a second and step back, where you have training. Is it important? Is it necessary? You need to achieve a lot more. You need to think about this. So that way I meant. because as a person, it's comparatively very different when you think back then and think now, because then I'm 25 now. So it's comparatively very, very different as a person on court and off court.
Yeah, so basically what you're talking about is self-discipline. I mean, at that point in time, you were actually a kid. I mean, going in, you created history, but that doesn't make you more than anything. I mean, you were still 21 for God's sake. I mean, we treat you as if you're this, whatever, mature person, 40. That's not the case. Somebody wants to spoil my interview and keep calling, not going to happen. Anyway,
No.
So the final few questions.
Sorry about that.
No problem. No problem. When Japan, but like the question I want to ask you is, you've been there, done that at major tournaments now. When you step on court, just like it is pressure on you, will you say it's pressure on the athlete as well, the other person, because she's playing PV Sindhu? I mean, she's actually playing PV Sindhu, Olympic silver medalist, world #1, world champion, etc. So the pressure is also on the opponent. Isn't that something that we can exploit?
Definitely yes, because people expect that okay, Sindhu, she's a world champion and she's doing well in bigger tournaments, so they're going to have that pressure. At the same time, when it comes to Japanese, I think definitely they'll have that home ground pressure, thinking that we need to play well, we need to give our best, and it's our country, it's our hometown. So that way it is also going to be there. And also to a lot of athletes there, they're going to look up to where Sindhu is doing well, or in a particular stroke, or in a particular point where they think that, oh yeah, Sindhu is good at attacking. Sindhu is a very aggressive player. So every single person, every single athlete is going to have that pressure. It's just that how you deal with it and how you make sure that it's gonna change. So that in that way, mental aspect is really going to help.
A word on Satvik and Chirag. I mean, they are also training now in Gachibowli, and every time I speak about them, a word on them. They also have a real chance this time around.
Yeah, they are doing really well. And of course, Bo, their coach, is making sure they're training really hard. So I hope, they do well at Olympics. And of course, Sai is also preparing well, and he's training at Gachibowli. So hopefully this time, in the Indian contingent, I hope we get a couple of medals.
So finally, is the color going to change? The country, and I don't know how many million, billion people will ask. If it does, trust you me, any number of cheat meals, any number of dinner, you will again not sleep for 72 hours because constant interview for 72 hours. You will go to sleep in the middle.
I don't mind doing that again. So really hoping for the best to happen. And of course, you're going to be there. Fingers crossed. I hope everything will go on well.
So promise me, the medal happens, we are celebrating again in the Olympic Village.
Yes, I promise you that. Definitely.
All the very best, Sindhu. Always you've been a favorite, no question. We'll celebrate you there. More strength, everything. The whole country wishes you well, not simply us, but you've been a great inspiration for everybody. Keep inspiring, keep performing, and the rest will take care of itself. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Thank you, Volya. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.